Pick one.
I'm Jai Jemini, and this is the album breakdown for my newest EP, Come Healed, I Wanna Hurt You Myself. So I actually first saw this as like a post on Facebook, and I thought it was hilarious when I first saw it. But then when I started, thinking about it more, it actually kind of started to develop a deeper meaning to me, because I could relate to doing the inner work of trying to become a better person, trying to like heal in between relationships just to get into another relationship and be hurt in a brand new, fresh, creative way by the next person. And so it really just resonated with me, like when I thought about it in the context of an EP, especially because I had these songs that talked about, betrayal and lies and heartbreak. And knowing that it always starts off good, when you're freshly healed and you're feeling good about yourself. But sometimes that person just wants to hurt you themselves. Honestly, I don't think you can have love without pain. It's kind of like the same way you can't have joy without sadness. Like if you don't know what sadness feels like, you can never really know what true joy feels like. And it's the same thing with love. Like when you love somebody, you're giving them the ability to hurt you, because if you don't love them, then they can't hurt you. And so I think I have always been the type of person that loves very deeply and very fully, and so then I get hurt very fully and very deeply. But I've always found the ability to like heal and be willing to start over again, because at the end of the day, like when you allow love to hurt you to the point where you don't ever want to love again, then you can't win. And that's why in the outro, I say those who have been hurt can always heal, because you can always find love again, and a better love this time. Well, Work was a freestyle and Down was a freestyle. I would say Crazy. Crazy was the hardest one to write because it was so honest. Like if you listen to Crazy, it's literally telling you like exactly what I'm talking about. And it's just so like vulnerable and open, because I'm just really exposing like a dynamic in a relationship that I was in that was, it wasn't to my benefit. Sometimes it's hard to be that vulnerable and to talk about like the things you've been through, especially like when it comes to infidelity and things like that. So that was a really hard one to write. And even when I initially recorded it, because the vocals for Crazy that made it to the EP are not my vocals, but when I initially recorded it, it was very hard for me to get through it, because I would literally be getting mad like as I'm trying to record it. So there's a funny story behind this EP, because this EP was actually never supposed to happen. It was never supposed to come out. I was actually trying to pull together songs for my full-length project, which is going to include more like hip hop and rap, which is what people know me for. And there were these songs that I kind of had left over. Like it didn't really fit with the narrative of the full-length project, but I noticed that they all had something in common. Like they were all talking about like relationships that I had been in, dynamics between two people, and heartbreak. And like I said, it just didn't flow with the other project. But once I realized that they all kind of had this connection to them, I was like, this could kind of be its own project. A lot of the songs were just drafts. I engineered all of the songs myself, which I am not an engineer at all. So it really is just like a personal, almost confessional of just like things that I was feeling at the time. So when I put it out, I don't think I realized until I actually put it out that this was closing the chapter for me. Some of these songs I thought would only be in my files for me to listen to in my free time, to kind of think about the things that I had been through and process them that way. But to be able to put it out on a platform for other people to hear and experience, it really just kind of closes the chapter for me. And it's like my own little story, reminding me of my worth and reminding me that even though love does hurt, like there can still be another cycle that starts. I don't know. I think I'm gonna let the people decide if they want visuals for it, because like I said, this EP is just a bunch of throwaway songs. These songs was never gonna really see the light of day. So I just put them out because I asked, you know, my audience on TikTok if they wanted it, and they said yes. So I never really thought about doing any visuals or anything to these songs. But, you know, the more I listen to the album as a whole, I feel like it does need some storytelling, some visual storytelling to kind of accompany that. That's such a good question. You know, the funny thing about it, even though the songs have like a cohesive story, I actually wrote these songs throughout the course of different relationships. And I remember when I wrote Crazy specifically, I was really going through it. Like I was so just like hurt. I just couldn't believe like what had happened. And if I could go back to the version of her specifically, I would just tell her that it's gonna be okay and that there is always a better nigga. I would actually say Deserved. Deserved is the outro on the track. And Deserved, I actually recorded it the same day that I released it, because I felt like it just needed something to kind of pull it all together. In Deserved, I felt like I was saying, you know, maybe I deserve the way you hurt me, so tell me I deserve the way you hurt me. Because a lot of times, you know, I've been in situations where I'll ask someone like, why did you do that? Like, what did I do? And it's always, it's not you, it's me. And I hate that so much because you can't control that. You can't control another person, but ultimately that's what the whole album is about. Like you can love someone so much and you can want so much from someone, but it doesn't matter how much you pour into them. It doesn't matter like how good you are to them. Like it's ultimately up to that person to decide, you know, how they want to treat you. And so with Deserved, even though I'm saying maybe I deserve the way you hurt me, it's kind of like in a sarcastic term because I know I didn't deserve that. So I feel like that piece really pulls the whole project together. So that's the one I would tell them to listen to. We got the chance, boy, of a lifetime. How many people find the right kind? Oh, baby, I think we could make it work. Work was actually a freestyle. I heard the beat, I just put it on and I just got in the microphone. And I wrote this when I was in a point in a relationship where I felt like it was kind of coming, you know, to an end, but I really wanted to make it work. In the context of the EP though, it's really just about being open to love. So it's that first stage when you first meet someone and you're hopeful about the fact that it could work. And really, I'm just saying that over and over again. I think we could make it work. I think we should make it work, you know, because how many people find the love of their life? How many people find the right person for them? So if it's an opportunity for us to do that, I feel like we should take it. And I feel like that's how most people feel at the beginning of the relationship. Like, let's just really try to make this thing work. You give me a feeling that I never had before. Baby, you're the realest, you're the one I'm looking for. Baby, you're so different, I ain't never felt this vibe. We ain't even been smoking, but I'm on a natural high, and I don't wanna come down. So Down is, it was one of my favorite songs at the time that I wrote it, because I was just so in love and just like really feeling like I was on cloud nine, and I just did not want to escape that feeling. Like I wanted to just live in that moment forever. And I feel like in the context of this project, it really just represents that honeymoon phase, you know, where everything is just going good. You're like, I have never met nobody like this before. This is the one. And I feel like it's just a feel good song. So far from what I hear, Down is a lot of people's favorite song, and I can see why, because it definitely it feels like a good time. It feels like watching the sunrise on the beach with the love of your life, you know? So yeah. Cause I don't wanna be the one that you could just touch and leave. I wanna be the girl you love. I don't wanna be the one looking stupid and naive. I just wanna be a girl. Girl You Love is another one. I'm just gonna say it's about all the songs. All of them are my favorite songs. But Girl You Love is the turning point. in the project, because you're still like pleading for that person to see you and to love you, but deep down you're starting to see that there's some red flags, that this might be someone who will deceive you, that this might be somebody that, you know, won't show up the way that you want them to, but you're just letting them know, like, I don't want to be just somebody that you can just like walk away from it so easily. Like, I want to be the person that you love, that really, you know, touches you, that it means something to you. So I feel like this is a very powerful part of the project, because you can start to sense the shifts from like those love and happiness to feeling like the uncertainty creeping in. You promised me a once in a lifetime type of love. So who the fuck is this bitch? Yeah. I feel like this is the most honest R&B song that has ever been written, because like I could not think of no cute way to say this. Who the fuck is this bitch calling your phone? Like, this is the part where it's like starting to come out. You know what I mean? The deception is starting to come out. You're starting to realize, like, wait, like this person promised me that they would be this type of person, but we keep having these same conversations over and over again. We keep going through the same problems over and over again. And now you got a bitch calling your phone after 9 o'clock? Yeah, you got me fucked up. The end of this song actually has like a little melody that's like, you got me so fucked up. Please, boy, don't make me do something wild. And I feel like it just transitions perfectly into the next song, because the next song is called Crazy. You tried to play me, I'm seeing hazy. You gon' make me do something crazy. Crazy is a song I wrote a long time ago. And Crazy is the only song on the project that is not my vocals. And I wanted that to be very intentional, because you'll see when you listen, it's called Crazy, but it's the other woman in parentheses. And so these other vocals, they're sang in a similar key to me. You know, it's my writing and it's my flow. But I wanted it to be abrupt, that it was like another woman, because that's how it feels in a relationship. Like, whoa, who the fuck is this bitch? Like, what just happened? Like, that's not Jay, because that's how it feels in a relationship when you find out that there's been somebody else. It just kind of takes you by surprise. And so I didn't want it to be any type of like build up to like some different vocals on the track. But yeah, and also because Crazy is one that was harder for me to record, because as I said, like it used to really make me mad. At this point, this is the point of no return. Like, everything has been like brought to the surface. All the details is brought out. There's even a point where it's like, you know, I know that y'all been fucking since June, which means that y'all met in May, which means that y'all met like right after my birthday. It's just like super specific, and it's really just talking about all of the different levels of betrayal. Because like when you are dishonest with somebody, and when you are like, you know, sneaking around and doing all these different things, it's not just one lie. Like, it's a lie that compounds over time. Like, every time you see that person, you're lying to them, because you know like what you was doing in the past, and you just see this person, you know, every day, or, you know, on special occasions, or you're around their friends, like, and the lie just builds and gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And so when it's finally revealed, it can just drive a person to a point where they feel like they're gonna go crazy. Maybe I deserve the way you hurt me. Maybe I deserve the way. Maybe I deserve the way you curse me. Maybe I deserve the way. This is the last song, the outro, because at the end of the healing process, you know, when everything has come out and everything has been put on the table, you're just left with the feeling of like, what did I do to deserve this? And I feel like that's the last chapter that you have to come through before you can heal, because the healing comes when you recognize that you can't control another person and that somebody else's actions oftentimes have nothing to do with you, but it's more so a reflection of how they feel about themselves. And so I felt like it was important to end with this, and especially to end with the spoken word of, you know, those who have been hurt can always heal, because after experiencing so much hurt and feeling so much hurt in the process of this EP, there can be healing again. But the irony of this is that, you know, it's a cycle, which goes back to the title of Come Heal. So do all of that healing that you did in your last relationship just to potentially be hurt again.
So I just listened to it twice.
Okay. That was fast. Yeah.
Yeah, no, like going through it, Girl You Love is a beautiful one. When you're saying the transition is like Come Heal, that's your first 2 tracks. And then after that, Girl You Love, you're like, all right, you know what, fuck you.
Yeah.
Right? Is there ever a recovery period from that? Or is the I Deserve, is that just like ending the whole situation?
Yeah, it's really like the circle back is the healing. So going back to work is the healing, because a lot of times, you know, a lot of times you don't really feel all the way healed in a relationship until you meet that next person and you like, wait, I think we could make this work. I think you could be the one. So it's meant to be a full circle EP. Thank you. Thank you. Clock that T.